10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Empire's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Empire's turn to ban.
Welcome back, guys. I kind of feel sad cutting Rhapsody and Blue short, but we've got to do it. The game has begun. Empire against HellRaisers. They're ready in the draft for their best of one in WePlay Season 3. The EU East, or the CIS group stage, is in full swing. And let's get to the draft, shall we? Switch things over, get my co-caster in. Nahaz, what's going on?
Reserve time.
Not much, man. Just taking a day off, casting some Dota. Looking forward to it. We are, assuming Empire don't use their fourth ban on it, we will almost certainly get to see an Oracle first phase in this match. Both teams here really like that hero. I'm kind of looking forward to casting that hero because, I mean, the numbers on Oracle right now are just unbelievably bad. That hero is like auto lose if you just look at the overall statistics, but I still think it just has so much potential in the program.
An interesting one. We've seen it a fair amount in SCA where there's a couple of players like Signature Trust, Feimal. He is an insane Oracle player. Like, anytime we look at a team fight, he's always like picking things up for the rest of his team. Everyone's dying, and all of a sudden, everyone's alive again. Saving people from Batrider initiations and all that nonsense. Now, I do want to point out that both of these teams, Nature's Prophet and Zeus, are both still in the pool. And those two heroes have just been this mainstay of CIS Dota in particular, the kind of global presence, the lane control you get from them. The hero you wanted, HellRaisers take it up in the first pick.
Well, Empire is historically, and I think in this patch, this is also true, Empire has historically gravitated a little bit more toward the Western European meta than most of the CIS teams. You see a little bit more conventional drafting from them. But yeah, I mean, in particular for HellRaisers, like, they just love to pick that Nature's Prophet and have Shotchlo go pick a fight literally anywhere on the map. Empire's still a team in transition after losing Resolution here recently. Their mid lane meta picks haven't quite stabilized, so they're going to go ahead and go with the Earth Spirit, which, I mean, God, this hero, if you have a 3 and 4 position player, if you have 3 and 4 position players on your roster that coordinate well with one another, Earth Spirit is like what Tusk was in the previous patch on steroids.
Oh, for sure. The amount of times we've seen Earth Spirit just sit mid. Like, honestly, do nothing but sit mid for the first 2 or 3 minutes and use that rolling boulder to catch off guard that opponent mid laner, and you just down slowly but surely, Orb of Venom. Punching him. And
well,
then
it's not just that. It's what, like, the crazy thing to me as a drafter is like what heroes like Earth Spirit and Faceless Void can do for you in your draft. Like, you pick an Earth Spirit first, and you can afford to not worry that much about team fight for the rest of your draft and still be fine because you always know you have that get out of jail free card. You can completely disrupt the other team's engagements from angles that are just impossible to prepare for. Yeah, I'm not really, especially into the Void. I'm not at all confident about this first phase Morphling. That's a really, really aggressive pick here. You really, in order to justify picking that hero first, I feel you've got to at least have open the possibility of running him mid or in an aggro tri-lane, and I don't see that working.
That's time dilation as well. Morphling can definitely have some issues. Where they head into? Batrider banned out, interestingly enough, I guess. You're not going to pick it into Oracle necessarily, especially with Faceless Void on your team. Batrider doesn't see that much play anymore after the kind of week and a half, 2 week period where S4 and a bunch of others like Dendi were picking up pretty consistently.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Alliance has actually stuck with that, and that's part of the reason that they got punished heavily for it by Vega here recently in the Captain's Draft tournament. So yeah, I mean, Batrider is just always going to be a good team fight hero, but doesn't have that early game lane presence that he once had.
The priority really going towards these mid laners for HellRaisers, you know, taking out, sure, the Chen, the AA, but OD and Invoker both banned out. Death Prophet, what are your thoughts on this hero? Because we don't see it that often played in European games.
Well, it was obviously the flavor of the month early in the patch, and Spirit Siphon, obviously still a skill that a lot of pro players still point to as being really overpowered going through Magic Immunity. But the fact is, that hero, while she's not as vulnerable early on in lane as she used to be, she still has a harder time farming because she's much more mana intensive now than she was. You don't have that witchcraft passive knocking down the mana cost on all your spells anymore. It used to be that you could go Yules and you could be fine, and now you really need another mana regen item which kind of locks you into Octarine. And the other thing about her is she's horrible with Aegis and she's horrible at slow sieging. Once you pop that exorcism, like, you gotta commit. And teams have more and more been able to exploit that due to just using good coordination.
We've been seeing more and more people go like phase drums and then Yules, tanking yourself up for the initial laning stage, because you get 3 or 4 man ganked by like an Earth Spirit, a TPing Nature's Prophet, and you die 3 or 4 times in lane. Then you know you're screwed, because flash farming as DP isn't the best. You can of course crypt swarm down a couple of jungle camps and try and claw your way back, but you always want to be ahead. Regardless, neither of these teams picking it up this draft yet. Team Empire, they've got their 4, they've got their 3. So that's a kind of more static support for the laning stage, but also looking for that FN hero.
Well, that's why I like this open so much. With this Void Earth Spirit open, you can really go in a number of different directions. And like this Disruptor, I like this pick a lot here because I feel like a lot of times Disruptor is a support that he can be sort of defensive in lane, but at some point in the game, he loses a lot of his value if you're behind. Because Glimpse is a skill that you really want if you're ahead, for chasing, for getting that extra kill, and then Static Storm for the zoning around the pushes. But because of the strong setup right now on Empire, Disruptor can contribute almost in any game state. We should say something about the Morphling, by the way. Like, this is an Illidan Morphling, and an Illidan Morphling is going to be really, really strong in terms of just pure early game aggression. The Skywrath Mage pick is actually something that I was expecting might come out from Empire to synergize with the Chronosphere. So really interesting that HellRaisers would choose to pick that hero up.
Yeah. And the thought behind this, I guess, against the Faceless Void, you can't go all-out nukes because he's going to time walk it all off, and there's limited opportunities in laning stage anyway with any hero to be able to nuke him down and actually kill him off before he can just regen back up. But the kind of continuous spam of that Arcane Bolt just going into the Void, especially what's the cooldown? 24 seconds on level 1 time walk. Skywrath can do a lot of harass and maybe force Void out of lane, so then that switches him into the Iron Talon build, sends him back into the jungle, and he's not going to be bullying aggressively into the Skywrath and the Morphling. I mean that Team Empire, do you have to kind of switch things up? They're not going to have that free reign Void getting a fast level 6 down in the bottom lane, but they go back into the Zeus. Oh,
yeah,
they've got a big combo.
Empire, this is... So I said before that there were a lot of different directions that they could go, and they've opted to go full-on team fight. They are going to look to win their lanes and 5-man, and Oracle is really, really strong in certain lineups. I mean, he can protect one hero, but you're going to have heavy damage being done to all 5 of your heroes at this point as HellRaisers, and you're really going to need... At this point, you need to have some kind of response. You need some kind of a puck or a hero that's going to team fight well.
You also want someone that can sustain you in these team fights, because if you can get past the initial burst of Team Empire, through the Chrono, through that Thunder God's Wrath, I even feel like you need something like the Viper. Just someone who can do decently in lane, get a mech, and group up with the rest of the team to try and get objective. It's a difficult choice, right? Because you want survivability, you want mobility, you want damage, but then you need a mech carrier, I feel desperately, against Empire. Not just the Zeus, but Earth Spirit and Disruptor. A lot of magical damage between themselves as well.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm looking at the Alpha Ninja puck right now, because you have to have something that can disrupt Empire's initiation. You can, surprisingly enough, Vengeful Spirit is still in the pool, but you already have your 2 supports. I guess you can think about maybe running a carry Venge here as HellRaisers, but boy, oh boy, I don't know. I think Dazzle, but again, you've got your 2 supports. Unless you can run this Skywrath as a core, I don't necessarily think that there's another core besides Puck that fits all the needs that you've got right now as a team.
Tough one, huh? Well, if we look towards the offlane, there's quite a few options still left. Not there for Goddamn to pick up. Chutchlu even. Go for. I mean, Nyx Assassin has been played a fair amount in CIS. Just having that mana burn, the Carapace is pretty good. I guess these initiation tools of Team Empire. But
again though,
rough.
that's so single target to me. You gotta have an answer for Empire's AOE initiation, and this is why. Yeah, you called it with the Viper. I think this is a decent way to go. Okay, you're gonna bank by far one of the most reliable ways to counter a team fight strategy is just to win the lanes hard. Because if your team fight strategy, if they don't get levels up, if they don't get early items up, it's so much less dangerous. But I mean, Zeus has what he needs to now to sort of subsist in a lane against the Viper.
Feels like HellRaisers have almost drafted themselves into a corner where...
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, they're the ones really on the back foot before the game even begins. You know, the laning stage hasn't really even started yet. They're still picking their heroes. But they've got difficult time ahead of them. Because looking at this offlane pool now, you know what, you've got Tidehunter, the Broodmother's taken out, which would have been pretty decent there to, like you said, win these lanes, get a good early kickstart into the game, but you need... I don't even know what you need. Like, you've got a good amount of damage, you've got some silences, you don't have any kind of synergy hero to bring everything together. You know, again, you mentioned it, it's all kind of single target. You go onto one hero, you kill them off.
5 seconds
And what's step B? You do as the team fight progresses. Like, what do you do after you get that one hero? Do you push into towers? Because tower pushing here for HellRaisers, that's not even that great.
You just have so many problems to deal with right now as HellRaisers. You have multiple heroes on the side of Empire that can start a fight and that can punish any one of your heroes for being out of position. So I mean, this Viper gains a lot of his value from being able to bully people in lane and be able to dive a little bit early on to get those kills. But with the hero set that Empire has, if anybody gets out of position, they're just dead. And really right now, you know, HellRaisers is down to Viper getting off to a really, really good start in lane and creating space for Illidan to just snowball on his Morphling, which can happen for sure. But it's really asking a lot against Empire if they play with any kind of coordination.
Final hero here. The last time I saw Empire, they put a Lowhead mid on the OD, so I don't know if he's going to be playing the Zeus and they have FN on the Spectre. They've got even more global dirty power. Not the greatest synergy between Spectre and Void, but if you do get yourselves ahead in the laning stage, you can run away with this game.
Well, it works so well as an insurance policy. There are really two types of synergy. There's synergy between skills within a particular fight, which obviously Spectre and Void, they don't have the best, but there's also just synergy in terms of lineup and timing windows.
10 seconds remaining.
Spectre, because of her haunt, can contribute to the team fights that Empire is going to want to force in the mid game, and also gives you that late game insurance policy where if HellRaisers decide to draw the match out, you have a hero that can compete with the Morphling in the late game. The Legion Commander here, it's innovative, it's interesting. I think Shotflow is very well suited in terms of his playstyle to getting the most out of his hero, but again, to succeed, HellRaisers are going to have a good start in lane, and I don't know that Legion Commander is going to be that strong in lane against what Empire are going to bring.
Odam is going to have this kind of rough situation, especially creating with his Oracle player, about what exactly they do in the laning stage, because with the Rolling Boulder from No Fear, the Zeus plus Earth Spirit, especially the first, let's say, 2 or 3 levels, if they have the Disruptor come in for Phonic and actually harass the Viper and force him out of lane, Zeus can win that lane against the Viper. If you have that early pressure and force the Viper to kind of be, you know, a level behind. I think between both Oracle and Skywrath Mage, moving themselves between zoning out Void and also keeping the Viper alive and kicking towards the mid lane, it's going to be kind of an awkward situation. Do you do 1-on-1? Do you move together as a pair? Do you split the load? So, what do you feel you do here? Do you put Oracle mid and Skywrath bot? Does Oracle just do a tri-lane at bottom lane to deal with the Faceless Void?
Ugh, that's the problem. I don't necessarily like any of those solutions that you proposed, and that's why I think Empire have really won this draft. Certainly, don't get me wrong, HellRaisers have a path to victory in this game, but it mostly involves doing really well in lane and Illidan going ham. And like you said, their lane composition feels a little bit awkward to me. It feels almost like there's something I'm missing here.
I'm looking at it, and I don't see it. I mean, okay, right. Let's have a look at like the combos they got and stuff like that. So let's say the laning stage goes evenly. Legion Commander gets, you know, a 15-minute Blink Dagger. The Morphling gets a decent amount of farm. Gets 18-minute Lincolns, whatever he looks at. There's a Mecha and Viper. Blink into Scarth Mage ulti. That can just nuke someone down and take someone out of the team fight. HR do have initiation tools. They can look at, you know, Viper striking one, getting the dual jump onto someone else. But if you do that, Team Empire have great counter initiation. That we didn't really talk about either. We've looked at them aggressively and how they can play forward into these team fights, jumping in, glimpsing back, getting the chrono and all their spells in. But if they get jumped themselves, they've got good reaction heroes to battle through as well. Just a Spectral Haunt is good.
That's exactly right. I mean, maybe I wasn't as clear as I could have been during the draft, but that's what I spent most of my time in the draft looking at Empire's lineup and thinking about, is that they can fight, they can almost fight 4v5 with this lineup and do pretty well. They just have so many team fight friendly skills if they get them all off in a proper combo.
Is No Fear going to do the little grab? Not. Thing is with this, there's these little areas in the trees where you can, you know, grab a creep with Earth Spirit and actually not just delay it, but deny it out from this safe lane. And maybe he was considering it there, but that does mean you don't have Rolling Boulder, your Boulder Smash for that initial 1-2 level.
How reliable is that? Because it's kind of become the new, for some teams anyway, it's going to become the new Clockwork Cogs or Earthshaker Fisher, but I've seen people screw it up too.
It's like not that difficult, at least the one I've tried. Like Dire Side, you can do it pretty consistently in this area of the jungle. Radiant's a lot more difficult. Oh goodness. Okay. Yeah. Pops it off. Thunderstriker's gone. He's got the good movement speed, healing himself through it, but he's taken so much damage. Honestly, he might just go back to base after this. Oh, another Thunderstrike. They're chasing this through. Aloha Dance wants the kill. And with the DPS they've got, this might actually finish him off. Shachlo barely surviving, but the creeps block him in, and Aloha Dance with the dagger missing. He doesn't target on the hero, and now the Spectre's the one in trouble.
He could have skilled dagger at any point there. Oh my goodness. Like he was holding on to that skill point, and I expected him to skill dagger and cast that. He could have had the kill, I think, at 2 different times.
Tragic scenario for him.
That was just so weird. And that's actually such a huge play, because Legion Commander has only 2 tangos and she started Iron Talon. She would have been forced out of the lane.
For sure. Did they not dagger at the top? So Aloha Dance used a mango.
I don't think they did. Maybe I misread that, but I was watching for him to cast dagger. Oh no, he had dagger because he used it to get off the. All right, I'm wrong. He had dagger because get up on the darn cliff early on. So yeah. I must be totally wrong. It must just have been a mana thing. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, he popped mango late.
God.
I think
my life makes sense again. Oh.
I think he could. No, I think you're still right. He could have done it earlier, but I think they were expecting the Legion just to fall over and die from the Thunderstrike and the right clicks. Touchlow got a little bit fortunate there with the way things panned out. So that's salve burnt by Aloha Dance. A TP purchased up. Touchlow level 2. Legion's gonna have a pretty happy time on this lane from now on.
Oh, and look at Illidan down here. I mean, he's having his strength morph and just run for his life.
No Fear doesn't have anything left to throw out, and yeah, he did go for the Geomagnetic Grip. He tries it. Illidan is silent, but it's not a lot of damage on that level 1 grip as Havost is forced back out of lane. He's salve. Might be able to turn his back onto Godam. First Scarth Mage though with 325 movement speed, not the easiest hero to catch up to. Not the easiest to trade hits with, which is why I think this aggressive dual lane of Empire. Viper kills mid.
With the poison.
Yeah.
That happened.
So, what exactly is Zeus doing that far up on the Dire side? Okay.
It looked like he got chased all the way back from his ramp towards his tier 1. But this is the thing, in a vacuum, the Viper is going to do fine against the Zeus, which is why I was looking for Earth Spirit to rotate into mid and force HR, and no fear, he's going to drop even with a Fairy Fire to right-click down by the 2 supports.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was expecting Earth Spirit to sit mid, force 1 or maybe even 2 of the supports from the Radiant to come in and deal with him. I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, FN is just fine with the bottles coming through. Hey. But yeah, again, his position way too far forward, not respecting this Viper's damage output. Missed 2 kills already.
Well, okay. Yeah, I've missed those kills too, though, man. These kills are not really supposed to be happening where they're happening. I mean, Empire is just they've not played this laning stage properly, in my opinion, and I mean, pardon me for saying so, but they were doing a good job in terms of bullying HR's tri lane early on, but at some point you've got to recognize that they're getting the pulls off. The lane equilibrium is in HR's favor, and you've got to kind of shut that aggression down or be a little bit more selective. And Havosh he just gives absolutely zero Fs. He's like, okay, this is my camp now.
He doesn't care. Up at top, the Legion nearly died, and being able to purge off that Thunderstrike with press the attack, it's proving pretty useful for Joshua, honestly. A lot of that damage output. Well, Havost, what are you up to? This Purifying Flames the last hit. Ivan allowing Faceless Void to get anything from the camp, but Apo on this Viper, you know, the one kill, the one death he got, they did move the Earth Spirit in to try and help out, as Havost is being forced away from the rune spot. Try and walk up onto the high ground. Not sure that's the best placement for him to be in, though, as they know.
And sit for 18 seconds in the trees. Congratulations.
Now.
This was my plan, Durka. Let's take 6 months off and not cast the game, and then cast CIS Dota, where kills are going to happen in every lane at constant months. I mean, that's a great plan. And by the way, Zeus is level 3. Oh boy.
Justice level 4. Oh goodness, he's almost 2 levels behind this Viper. Magic stuff. You're gonna move in with a. Oh, I thought it was 2 supports, but it's just the one. Scarf with an illusion rune. 1-1-1 build, looking to kill off the Viper, looking to kill off the Zeus again, it looks like. Get my head in the game. Time to catch all the kills from now on.
Look, you got to go back to the fact that the game plan that we talked about for HR is absolutely working to perfection. They have a strong advantage in at least 2 out of these 3 lanes, arguably all 3 of them, and they're just going to be able to bully Empire. I mean, that Wombo combo, that teamfight lineup that we talked about, is just not going to come online before Alpha Ninja has his mech on Viper.
At least the low dance can farm up at top lane, leading the CS chart. Phase boots are up. I guess he'll just go for the kind of standard build we've seen recently, the Urn, Drums, Yasha, tank up.
Use your Iron Talon. That item, oh my god, Chachla, I love you, dude, but the item hasn't active.
What, was there a big golem there?
Yeah, there was, like, he started that camp with 2 big golems and never used the Iron Talon.
What?
Ah, sorry. Little, I'm a stats guy, I'm a numbers guy. Little efficiency things like that absolutely drive me crazy.
I can understand it if they were just like small golems and he wants to another camp and you big centaur for that hashtag. Big golem there and he started the camp. I'm not really sure why. Oh, top rune spot. FN. You go down that ramp, you're dead. You are dead! FN, oh, he can TP out, he tries, he's going to commit it and he succeeds, barely getting back into the fountain. He doesn't get the rune. Alpha will pick it up.
I love it that chat's like, yeah, Nahaz, you said that Empire won the draft and that they're gonna win the lanes. You know nothing, dude. I'm like, really, I do feel like there have been, it's not that many of them, but there have been a couple of minor mistakes by Empire that have really turned this laning phase. The positioning by FN in the mid lane, and just a little bit of over-aggression at the wrong time by Havosh in the bottom lane, along with that Legion commander chase early on. They've just turned the game around in HR's favor.
Still think that no fear on this Earth Spirit, he's got to get stuff done. I expected them to move in onto the Viper and maybe look for some kills. Drops the Earth Spirit involved.
That's a really good point. You just haven't felt the presence of that hero. And there's going to be a dive top onto Shocklow. He's turning around easily, and it may be a kill for HR here. Now they're going to let him... Empire is trying to do stuff. They're trying to get stuff done, but I mean, HR just with that little lead from early on, they do have the stronger laning heroes now. By far.
This Legion was such a good pick against Disruptor. Being able to purge off Thunderstrike, it's been massive for Shocklow up on this top lane. And with the fact that he's nearly level 6, 7 minutes in, 1,000 gold saved up. That's Tread plus Duel, and honestly, that's going to be a kill on a low head out soon if they're not careful.
This is why I actually love watching and love casting Dota. Like, Chad expects casters to know everything, but I enjoy it mostly because I learn stuff in every game, and little interactions like that Thunderstrike and press the attack combo that you just talked about can really have such a big influence on how these games go.
That's slow. There we go, Iron Talon on the ward to clear it up. The mana over on him, is that Thunderbolt Mouth? Oh, they're rolling into mid. Aloha Dance was joined in and they kill off the Viper at long last, and that's a big juicy kill as long as the Spec doesn't die.
Oh,
but Ivan is there to clear up the kill and he might even survive, salving himself through this. And Zeus not committing, bailing himself away and TPing out with no mana remaining.
270 pure damage nuke, OS Frog.
Still get a good amount of gold on your Zeus. It's not great though. With the Spectre using that first horn to die, best trade-off they've asked for. Yeah, Oracle's Purifying Flames, honestly. 360 damage, 2.25 second cooldown on a magical nuke on a support with what, 70 mana cost?
And just think about it, until they fixed it, you used to be able to exploit that to calibrate it like 5k MMR for free. So,
oh yeah.
Just a great skill.
Amazing stuff. Thanks, Ice Frog. It's in my top 3. Spirit Siphon, Savage Roar, Purifying Flames of most idiotic skills in the game.
Yeah, Spirit Siphon actually doesn't bother me as much as it bothers a lot of people, just because Death Prophet needs to tank up so much after the strength gain nerf to really take advantage of that skill anyway. But yeah, the slow going through med community is bullshit.
I've had moments where I've been ganked at like level 5 mid by 3 heroes, and I just Spirit Siphon and kill all 3 of them. It's insane just having this massive turnaround potential. Oh, they're going to try and get the Earth Spirit, but no fear. Fields are coming.
My favorite moment with that skill was actually like watching Blitz go up against Cap in the mid lane, where Cap was Death Prophet, and Cap broke even on that lane without even knowing that Spirit Siphon had charges. This was like really early on in the match. It's like 5k player versus 7k player in lane. 5k player does not know how one of the abilities work and still breaks even. It's awesome. Balance, guys, I swear.
What a hero. Well, Illidan's Morphling is definitely impressing so far. I mean, the aggression, it's been there. He's been forced back a fair amount, but it's his net worth and his just consistent farming. It's always the way to go. 4,140 currently, while No Fear is trying to leech experience down in bottom lane, but it's just not that easy. Both Goddam, as well as Ivan, forcing him back time. Like, he's going back to base with 400 HP and 250 mana, just because he cannot do anything on this bot lane. Oh no, he's not. He's smoking up with Phonic. They want to play aggressively into this, and they might have a TP in from someone else. Chrono from Havos is ready. Oh, Havos, he picks up the DD rune, but he's not got the Chrono. He's going to get waveform down before he can do any damage until that Thunder God's Wrath clears up the Skywrath.
Oh, this is not the play!
Oh, he's being super aggressive, but they've got the silence of the Illidan. He's healing himself up through the strength morph, but it's not quite enough. With a glint back, maybe they can somehow do enough damage through the Zeus's Thunderbolt. But look at Apo Ninja go one after the other, taking on the dual Phonic as well. Winner, chicken dinner, as that damage is put straight on the shot flow. But Aloha Dance, he'll get himself a couple of kills, a lot of gold, and a retreat out of that team fight.
I was really afraid that Zeus and LC were going to get there a little faster, and that Aloha Dance was just going to get dueled and instantly die. And that fight actually did not go nearly as badly for Empire as I thought it might.
Aloha Dance did the kind of shimmy. He moved himself forward, moved himself back. Look, another kill on the Morphling. Now with the Urn Drum, he's looking pretty tanky. But that 15-minute blink dagger I wanted from the Legion Commander, it came 4 minutes early. It's Christmas time, and this is where they're going to move themselves forward. The only thing that they wish they had right now was level 6 Skywrath.
Still, though, I really like the fact that in spite of, we mentioned that the death on the first haunt, Spectre is leading the boards, though, in net worth. And that net worth isn't like a relic. That net worth is 2 items that's going to let him team fight really well and be tanky.
Oh, they've got
and look at the stool here.
Aloha Dance, he's going to drop Purifying Flames to be able to finish him off. Surely. Yeah.
Okay. He did, but that's 3 heroes, and it still takes a while. You still, did he get the duel damage?
No, he didn't. There's no duel win.
Yeah, that's the thing. Spectre is really hard to kill right now. If there's even one Empire hero on the map near there, they may be able to turn that 2v3.
Reverse was busy farming through the jungle with his Iron Talon. You've got Ether Lens actually on the Zeus now. Finally managed to pick up some semblance of items for Havos. Not sure about this one, buddy. He's going to try and man-fight it. With a cooldown of Time Wolf, he gets himself away, but Phonic pops the Static Storm to try and deal with his Alpha Ninja Viper, but he's going to turn and fight you. He doesn't care. You glimpsed him back into the Danger Zone. Spectral Hawk will come out, but the Purifying Flame clears up one. There's the false promise. Turns Alpha Ninja, turns the fight against the host, but he's just tanking up through it all. He'll drop eventually with a damage output here from Empire. Just too great. Burning Sun. Supernova above his head.
It's just absolutely great trade for Empire right there. To not to point out the obvious, they're not done.
The duel back onto Aloha Dance with the Mystic Flare. It's good damage, but it's not quite enough. That's Desolate from Aloha Dance. Oh boy.
That's the drums Urn combo has just paid for itself right there.
Got
I mean,
another
you
ground.
are expecting Spectre to maybe be sitting on Earn Relic right now if she's doing well, and all of a sudden with that drums, yeah, that combo doesn't kill you anymore. You can get dueled and you can get Mystic Flared and still live.
Oh, bottom lane, Illidan. But he's fine, you can waveform back. Vost wants to get up in his face though. There's some rivalry between these two.
Praying to RNG for that bash there.
Time walk to keep on jumping. But looking at the support levels, actually, you know, you've got these level 7 Earth Spirit, Oracle,
Radiant's top
Disruptor.
tower is under
They've all
attack.
got their ultimates up and ready, and we've already seen them, a couple of them utilized. But I think it's this Earth Spirit that's finally kind of started shining. He was sitting at level 2 like 4 minutes in. But that movement where he got in onto that Viper, got the stun so the rest of his team could go while along bottom lane. They got a Vost, and that's another win there. Legion Commander. Bonus damage.
I mean, I really felt that engagement mid sort of stopped the bleeding for Empire, and now they're looking to get themselves back on track, and I think they've got the tools to do that. Especially this has been a really good performance, I think, from Aloha Dance on Spectre to just go do stuff items in this game, to recognize what the game's like. Radiance is not the build here with the way that their lanes are going.
It's yeah, the precedent has kind of been set by Badman, and everyone's been copying him with this build. Radiance is kind of like, not even a secondary item, but it's like a 2.5 item. Counting, you know, Earn, Drums, Phase Boots, Magic Wand, all these kind of little incremental stat items. Come first, then there's your Yasha, and then Radiance comes as like a tertiary item after all of that, if you have the space and time to farm up the gold. Otherwise, Manta Style into the Fuel Blade. Kind of been the popular build of late, just going for the full out battle, because Manta Style with Desolate damage. Up your horn, you find a support, they are dead. They straight up just get absolutely injured by your Manta illusions.
God, I had also not noticed Havost's net worth. Holy, oh boy.
Yeah, he's not doing great.
That's just ugly.
He's not doing great. No fear, the hornet's there, got him, he's gone. Havost has a chrono, he's going to land it out onto Snow. He's just waiting for Aloha to jump back, and now he can throw it out, but he's waiting and biding his time for the perfect moment to strike. It's Aloha that's trying to battle through Shaft Flow, but look at this Magnetite! Burning through a couple of them, and the TP out will allow Empire to disengage. Maybe bail on this fight. Havost doesn't have a TP though. Time Walk himself a little bit further away.
Just so far behind at this point.
Oh, that's a good kick. Or the smash. Maybe saves Havost's life here. Time Walk will be able to get himself out of this damage if he uses his spells.
Keyboard.
It's not your fourth spell, not your third spell, not your second spell. It's your first spell, Havost. You've got that Time Walk. Get rid of the damage. Heals you up and moves you further away from the enemies. So it was difficult anyway. Against the Viper, against the Morphling with Waveform, and having that Fortune's End hold you in place as well. Likely he was probably going to die, but maybe could have extended his life a little longer.
Structures are fortified.
One worrisome thing is FN Zeus. Static hero, item decisions are reasonably difficult on this guy, because you can go Soul Ring, a lot of people have been liking that, into the Bloodstone, Octarine Core's pretty good, Yule Step to people like the Veil, there's Blink, there's Force, there are just so many avenues to go down, and up against this enemy lineup you want damage and you want mobility.
Yeah, it's funny because with a Zeus, especially in this lineup, when you're ahead, it feels like just an embarrassment of riches. I've just got so many toys to play with. When you're behind, it's like, I need all these things, what the hell do I buy?
Go for first, but it looks like it's going to be the Veil. The Veil first, just increase all your damage, and I guess if you land one big chrono, having that Veil
actually really like that as well, because of a little subtle thing about Veil, it gives you just a little bit of armor, which really helps if it jumps on.
Little things, Nahas. Little things.
Well, I mean, that's why, like, let's not lie, like, that's why Dota is so much fun. It really is it's a game of inches.
Have one extra attack from the Viper. Blocked out by the Helm of the Iron Will. Oh, tier 1 for tier 2. Illidan, name for himself across the map. His Lincoln Sphere is done if he so chooses. 17.5 minutes in, hey, up, what the...
I really do enjoy watching Illidan play Dota. I mean, for better or for worse, he's going to play the brand of Dota that he's going to play, and he's really good at that style. And it can be frustrating, but it's so much fun when he's in a free-flowing game like this.
Free-flowing, you mean he can do whatever the hell he wants and go wherever he pleases?
Okay, a little bit of a euphemism.
Yep. He is 2-1 and 2. He died once, but that was the good movement from Empire down at the bot rune spot that picked off. But a good dewarding out here from HR, just safeguarding their own jungle, realizing the Empire do have this global strat, where if you see a Faceless Void, it's probably not just going to be the Faceless Void. There's probably Disruptor behind, haunting in, the Zeus global coming through. But now, Arcanes onto a low dance. I thought might be looking to smoke it up because all 5 have grouped up this top lane.
I really do want to point out right now that Aloha Dance and FN have been in on 10 of their 11 kills. And with the Zeus, maybe that's not so impressive because you get the free assist from the ulti. But Aloha Dance, I really feel like he's made the right item decisions. He's made the right engagement decisions. I really like this game coming out from him. I think if he had made a couple of different decisions at certain points in this game, that Empire could easily be way behind.
Shot slow, blade mail's ready. Over the tread, goes right into this, and this is a huge item for HR. Shot slow can get the jump onto the Zeus, onto anyone. Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden, if you get caught in chrono, but you pop your blade mail first, they're like, what do I do, guys?
Leave them alone.
FN's like, okay, do I really want to ulti and kill myself?
Dire's bottom tower.
And then you look at the trouble with the three dire melee creeps that are sitting next to Illidan. Oh my god, that's the clowniest thing I've seen in a while. He has no idea that there's gold right here waiting for him. It's not a smoke from Empire, it's a smoke from HR. HellRaisers, they're the ones on the front foot looking for this aggressive play, but Illidan not in the smoke with them. But fortunately, Empire have no vision, and they'll drop straight off Aloha Dance, and that's a simple takedown.
And there's the blade mail. The difference, right? The difference between Spectre having that drum earn build and being super tanky, all of a sudden Legion get that blade mail up, that little bit extra damage reflect. Man, oh man. A good play. It's a really, really good smoke coming out from HR.
With a Hood on the Viper, Hood mech, moving into that fight. No longer it's easy to kill off multiple of these HR heroes. Now the blade mail, the Morphling having his morph, Viper just being tanky as all hell. You can't forget to look at the back end and focus on the Oracle. I think the Oracle really has to be the first port of call in all of these team fights.
Agreed, and that's you put that absolutely perfectly. And it's funny, right? Not to get too nerdy on you guys, but there's a stat that we have for baseball, have had for a long time, called leverage, which is basically, are you getting hits? Are you making plays when it matters? And that was just such a high leverage kill right there on the Spectre. It sets her back when she's got to make her transition into that next big major item. The Manta, it gets you that big objective, the Dire tier 2 tower. Dire only has now 1 tower up outside their base at 21 minutes in, and HR all of a sudden have come from a situation where it looked like Empire was stopping the bleeding to once more being in a commanding position in this game.
And I think the trouble is Illidan. Like, you look away from this who is, technically creating space by killing off heroes like the Spectre, the Viper who's running around and causing a lot of havoc. But I think it's just Illidan. You look at the movement that Empire just made. They moved themselves forward, they Glimmercape the Earth Spirit to try and get an initiation. But the window of initiation on a Morphling at any given time in this game is so tight and so small.
Yep.
Empire are going to have difficulties actually ganking him and killing him. Because how do you do it? You blink Chrono, he morphs. There are basically 2 ways to do this. You Static Storm, you Kinetic Field, or you start off with the Kick Stun combo from No Fear. You get that silence down with a Geomatic Magnetic Grip, because otherwise, Illidan just scot-free. He's out there, he buggers off, and he says, goodbye, I'm bot lane, all of a sudden, farming away, and you guys have wasted the smoke, you've wasted 3 heroes' time. Well, I just go back to farming. The rest of my team is doing whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, and what it boils down to, honestly, is, Empire have this great wombo combo, but 2 of their 3 cores are just really behind. FN has done a nice job. He's kind of coming back with this Aether Veil on Zeus, but Havosh is just he's just sitting on Iron Talon and Treads at 22 minutes.
Be the creeps. Oh, the lane creeps caught in the cage. Call Peter! Peter! Let me out of here. Dear me. Oh, interesting. Illidan's not going to go for the E-Blade.
I really like, by the way, the mech pipe on Affiniti's Viper. It's not necessarily a standard build, but against that lineup of Empire, really love that decision.
Against the Veil, yeah, because the Zeus has picked up the Veil to amp up his damage, and it's pretty much immediately mitigated by that pipe out from the Viper.
But I also feel like it gains a ton of value because Hood is no longer absolutely trash.
Yeah, true. Very true. That nice little active you get from it. Dire had full vision of this. HellRaisers, they've grouped up and take that observer ward down. Good awareness. Realization that if they do want to try and counter-initiate onto this, positioning is key. They're still posturing. I mean, this is a really kind of weird Mexican standoff where whoever jumps first dies, right? Whoever makes the first jump in is the one that's going to lose the fight.
You gotta be so racist, Durkee. Come on, I'm just totally kidding. It's exactly right.
What do you want me to call it? Like a Thai standoff? Malaysian standoff?
Oh god, let's just stop this conversation right now. Yeah, you could really see Empire just if you look at their lineups and the concept that they had in the draft heading into this game, that's the kind of situation where their lineup wants to force the action. And the fact that they back off from a 5v5 fight and they're going to run straight, Spectre is going to run straight into another HR smoke, tells you everything you need to know about this game.
The rest of Empire twiddling their thumbs up at top, wondering what the hell went wrong. FN, he's forced to go down to bot lane to deal with this, but this could open up Roshan really easily for HellRaisers.
I just love the fact that HR see Empire being tentative and they respond with immediate aggression. And again, it's about the ability to convert those kills into objectives. The last Spectre kill was an immediate tier 2 mid tower. That Spectre kill is an immediate Roshan. HR are on a roll.
Oh, Empira, what do you do with this? The blink on Havost is good initiation. Phonic, seen a couple of good static storms from him. Against an Aegis Morphling, if you had difficulties killing him once, forget about twice. Liz, if you ignore him during a team fight, he's going to rip you to shreds. He does a ton of magical and physical damage, with the Manta style up as well. Getting out of these silences of the Earth Spirit, dodging away from things like Glimpse of Phonic. Illidan is going to have a roaring time in the upcoming 10-15 minutes. If he even wants to fight at all, he can just continue farming. They're going to look to now. One outer tower still standing. The last bastion of hope for Empire, but it's not the easiest one to defend. If they do want to defend this, they need, high ground ward up on this spire near the Roche pit. They need to sweep in from the side, get a big chrono in, but no one's in position. I think Empire just wait, try and bolster up their high ground defenses and get ready for the choke point push.
Well, but that's the other benefit of the lineup that Empire chose. They have a shot at making this a really big high ground defense fight, especially with Pipe has been used a little bit on the early side here.
Losing a lot of his HP, actually.
Oh boy.
They kill him off the first time. Static Storm, Phonic thinking about it, he's got it as well. Illidan Link at the top, but they're going to jump on in with a full force on Illidan, he's going to get himself away, but the Havost! The Chrono onto 3! They've locked them all in with the Magnetize, and they're all dropping like flies. Illidan, he is moving through this and survives a little bit longer, but the lower hand has got his number, tracking him down and taking him out, while Alpha Ninja on the back end, in the middle of 5, he doesn't manage to get a single one of them. Empire.
Dota.
That
right there.
Play.
That is exactly when you draft this kind of lineup with Empire, you're saying to yourselves, okay guys, we're down in this game, but all we have to do is make that wombo combo lineup work one time for us, and the comeback mechanics are going to do the rest. I mean, if the team fight recap comes up, click on it, because that's going to be a huge gold swing.
It's like 6k. It's almost 6k gold swing, man. Crazy.
It's crazy.
Oh dear. What does that give us? How does the graph look? Is it refreshed enough? No, we'll come back to that in a minute. We'll see how big the swing is.
You have to be so careful with your positioning. Just little things like the pipe getting popped a little bit prematurely, so it wasn't there to mitigate the damage from the Earth Spirit and the Zeus ult, and then the Chrono Spirit by Havosh, which looked like it was going to be a little bit late, ends up being perfect and winning them the fight.
Tough. And then you add in, this Earth Spirit, the little things he can do might go unnoticed in the kind of grand scheme of the team fight. And the Chrono, it looks so good and juicy. The Static Storm was perfect. The initial kill from the Zeus onto Morphling was great. But just having that Magnetize being refreshed and having the spells being split across with Grip silencing the stun, the damage output from No Fear, everything just emerged together perfectly. It was just a jigsaw put together from the heavens from Empire.
It's just, this is what I meant early on when I said that Earth Spirit is kind of like Tusk on steroids. He's just such an enabler hero. He gives you that little bit of extra damage. He affects the positioning of the enemy team. He can adjust the positioning of your team if you don't have it just right. He's a team fight facilitator at every point in the game.
Back to the drawing board for HellRaisers. High ground push, not going to happen just yet. You need Illidan to be a little more monstrous on this Morphling, I think. Not sure where he heads into. Fly, go for that build with Scardy Butter. But do you want that I still feel like E-Blade is a good item here against Disruptor Zeus.
E-Blade is a good item, but the question that you have to ask yourself is a super fat Morphling gonna be enough? Do you need to start thinking about how you're gonna devote farm priority between your LC and your Viper? Because these are two heroes that obviously we know this with Viper, but this LC is not necessarily having the huge farming game where she's got 48 bonus damage. It's not bad, but Empire are gonna start getting big here.
I think it's more LC than I think Viper is.
I think
you're
probably right.
I think Viper is close to lost cause at this point. Not in a bad way, but just the build he went. Pipe mech. It's very utility based. There's no damage. There's no Midas. He's just gonna kind of slowly meander himself into BKB, a Manta style, something like that. While Legion Commander has to go for that really strong, basically two-role player.
Yeah,
Legion.
It's going to be tough though with Link, Blademail, and now looking like maybe building toward BKB. She's just not. She just doesn't have the farming build going right now.
48 damage stolen out. Yes. BKB for charge flow, but they're looking up at no one here. Empire, they've grouped up mid and they're looking for a smoke, I think. Octarine Core is almost done for FN. Almost. He's 1700 gold off it. They've got his little soul booster. The great thing with Zeus here is that they can completely de-ward. They've shoved all their lanes pretty much across the river. So the entirety of their side of the map is free to de-ward, get rid of all of HellRaisers' vision. And now they can be the ones that sit back and do what they want. They've got this Spectre, who is their late game insurance that you mentioned earlier on. Style Diffusal was the build that he went. But from here on out, Spectre becomes harder and harder to kill with the item choices that it goes for.
Exactly, and that's kind of the thing that you have to look at is what do your next cores do to the enemy carry? FN with all these items still does a ton to that Morphling because fine, all right, we're gonna see kill on a shot here.
I mean, he just got obliterated.
What are you gonna do? That's the problem that we mentioned with LC. LC knows that she needs to start hard farming to get back and to keep in this game, but with an Earth Spirit on the map, there's just so much risk in terms of being caught out like that. Yeah, but anyway, the big problem, right, with Zeus is that, fine, Morphling, morph all into strength. Zeus's passive just does that much more damage to you.
Very true. And in the Veil as well, this Zeus is becoming dangerous man. Man behind the mustache. Pretty face. Oh, Havos. Standard build for him. Nothing out of the ordinary at all. Blink, Blabs, Aghanim Scepter, probably what he goes for next. That reduced cooldown. Combo up a little more with the Zeus. But look at the Spectre's eyes. Oh, whoa, hang on a second. Hello? Where did Funnick? Funnick just finished a full Ags.
Oh. Just Funnick things. Absolutely.
So item pick up. But with the Spectre, item choice next. You reckon the heart is what you go for? Tank up as much as you can?
I've been thinking about that. I still feel like you need damage.
Oh, a nice copy pasta.
I know. I looked at that in chat. I approve. That's a pretty good meme, guys. I don't like that one.
5 out of 7. Real shit right there. Oh, Empire. They got one. They've got a smoke on it. They're still being quite timid about their movements though. They've had a couple of opportunities to smoke on their side of the map and move forward. But there's all these tier 2s still standing, and Illidan, he's the one shoving out these lanes, kind of forcing them to react and move around. 4,000 gold on this Morphling. I guess he is going to go into one of these bigger ticket items. All the ones. So E-Blade could be it. Butterfly might be the way to go. We're have to scout out again from FN. Empire. They're on their toes. BKB. Open with a BKB, another defensive item.
Yeah, you almost have to at this point.
But he doesn't know about the Ags on Funnick.
Right. And that's partly why you get so much. That's partly why that's such a value pickup, right? Especially if you can hide it.
And a BKB on Legion. This could be huge for Empire. These two massive items for HellRaisers could be useless.
Yeah, if this next fight, if this Static Storm is well positioned, it's going to nullify like 10k gold on the AHR side. I mean, all of a sudden you look at that gold graph and HR's got this 2K gold lead. All of a sudden, that item, that one spell lands, and how many of your items on HR are just nullified?
Just imagine he gets it on the Viper, Legion, and Morphling, because Viper nearly has a BKB of his own. That's 12k gold down the drain almost if the Stack Storm hits all 3 of them. Well, Aloha Dance, this is very far forward. Forced up, try and cancel out the blink, but Shashflow, he's one step ahead. He hit all duels illusions. And Empire, now they've got a chance to turn this fight around with Goddamn dropping Phonic. He lands a Static Storm, but the Chrono's the big one that comes on through. The time dilation onto Ilden and Alpha Ninja, the kick won't hit, but he doesn't care. Promotions mans up and fights on through with Aloha Dance, just chasing one after the other. And HellRaisers, oh boy, still being chased out by No Fear is Ivan, YOLO Warrior. Something was Wrath to hit him as well, and he's got no HP left. He'll try and heal himself through this, but he can't TP, he can't run, and he particularly cannot hide.
He's just going to waste some of their time, which is fine. I think I said Replicant when I meant Mantle Illusion. You guys get the idea. That was just a disastrous fight by HR, and I mean, you didn't even really need the perfectly positioned Static Storm. They were going to win that one anyway.
And one there, and that's another 3,500 network swing for Empire. So does that take it over the line? Looks like that takes it. Oh, yeah. Empire going to have the lead for the first time in this game in net worth, but metrics don't mean everything.
Well, you just the metrics are a useful guide, but you got to kind of do the numbers in your head, like I talked about a second ago. You got to ask, with one team's particular combination of items and skills, does that affect the other team's itemization? Like it says, it's like all of a sudden that Disruptor Ags nullifies so much gold on the side of HR, so the net worth advantage effectively is a lot smaller.
Then the Octarine on Zeus, the Reaver on the Spectre. They're all tanking up and getting themselves into these really beefy situations where, you know, a hero like, oh,
well, that's Illidan, that's going to happen, and honestly, it's not that big a leverage kill. It's interesting too, because a minute ago we had that discussion about what item does Spectre go next, and I expressed doubt that Heart was going to be the right choice because I thought, well, Void is still pretty far behind. Zeus is climbing the ladder, but you have to worry about damage output. All of a sudden, 1-1 fight, and everybody on your team is getting items. And this could easily be a very ill-fated Roche attempt.
Look at HellRaisers and their kind of damage spread. Viper damage over time. Goddamn is mainly damage over extended team fights with the Arcane Bolts. Sure enough, the Mystic Flare comboed up with a Legion Commander. Pretty good way to burst someone down, but finding a target you can kill is difficult. Finding the Zeus or the Disruptor when FN and Phonic have had pretty superb positioning over the past 3 or 4 team fights. In stark contrast to FN's positioning in the laning stage, where he was running way too far forward. He has been superb over the past 15 minutes or so.
Absolutely. I mean, Empire has just really tightened up their play so much when it's mattered in this game. And actually, by the way, I do not mind at all the Spectre's decision to buy out for Heart here. Because if they win this fight, they can almost win the game.
Oh man, they jumped in. Chrono landed. Roshan will line Ilden back to the awareness, but this Roshan is going to drop. Ilden has to focus it down. Skywrath may picked up the edges of Mortal's got out. His Glim caved up in the back, but Hobos trapped in a pit. Up against these 3 heroes. Ilden waveforms over, but doesn't get up on the cliff. Aloha down with that Thunder God's Wrath will clear him up. Goddamn returns to the land of the living. The Spectre taking a lot of damage, and without anyone to back him up, the False Promise comes through, but No Fear has the Ags upgrade. Turns Aloha Dance to stone. Gets himself away with a dagger over the cliff tops. Messy fight, but they get the Aegis. Take it away immediately to Empire. And that's a Roshan really kind of wasted for HellRaisers, because that was gonna be the thing that bolstered their attack.
Dota 2, the video game, that fight was just so strange by both sides. You have the Skywrath combo with Legion Commander basically immediately get blown on the Phonic. Phonic got off the Static Storm anyway, so it was just very, very awkward by both sides. I don't know that fight changes the game all that much, though. I really don't.
I mean, if Empire had got that Roche, it would have been looking disastrous for HellRaisers, but I think HellRaisers kind of needed that Aegis to even consider attempting knocking on the doors of high ground again.
Oh, clearly, but as it goes, Empire got in enough that you get the Aegis on the Skywrath and immediately lose it, and so, you know, the fight certainly was not that bad for either side, but you took a big risk there by HR.
Oh, hello, Adance. Go back into the butterfly now. Staff is up, and I guess you look at HellRaisers. Who buys MKB? Absolutely no one. Wolfling doesn't want to. He's going back into the Ethereal Blade with a Ghost Scepter up ready.
And again, it's telling to me that against a Legion Commander and Skywrath combo on a Spectre, he still feels absolutely no need to even think about saving for buyback.
They got graphic. Oh, they're glimpsing back. Ivan.
Beautiful.
Oracle has caught. I thought they would use the Wrath to maybe try and catch the Legion Commander. Having difficulty pulling off the Oracle. He's healing himself up a hell of a lot through all this, and with no fear rolling in. Facing that barrier and forcing the rest of HellRaisers back. There's no Havos.
Oh no!
Hey, buddy. He managed
We're
to
gonna just pretend that didn't happen.
He managed to catch 4 trees, which I think is pretty good for him.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Happy little trees sitting in a chronosphere.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
It's like there are 3 happy little creeps still sitting over in the trees. Oh, mid lane, they actually initiating onto Havos. They've got him.
Yeah.
BKD Blade Mail. Full victory again.
Yeah, that was the droid you were looking for right there, because he's the guy that you can blow up sitting on just barely over 10k net worth at this point in the match.
He's managed to buy out for his Aghanim Scepter, so he's completed that item. Do HellRaisers have a window here to do anything? Now they know that Chrono and Void are both dead.
For 40 seconds, no.
Like,
I mean, that's...
there's no tower to take, there's no Roshan, they can't go high ground, so they just have to trade and sit and farm, while Empire do exactly the same thing. So that kill gives them short-term gains, but long-term it doesn't really do anything for them.
No, the other problem, right, we were talking about the farm on the Legion Commander and the Viper earlier, and the other problem with this lineup is that past Morphling, you really don't have any wave clear at all. Unless Legion Commander gets pretty farmed and gets a bunch of right-click damage, you just don't have the ability to manipulate lane equilibrium in your favor like Empire does.
Yeah, hello, Adance. There's the Ags for the Void. Fun. Get to see really this Earth Spirit utilize that Ags amazingly. Of course, he did get it down onto the Spectre in the Roche Pit, but no aggressive plays with it just yet. None of that rolling in, turning someone to stone and kicking them back into the fountain. We've not seen any of that yet. Of course, the range did get reduced a fair amount. What was it, 600 before? Now it's 150, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully no more of this ridiculous stuff where you pull somebody from your barracks into your fountain. Because that's fun.
But I'm surprised that no fear is going back for an Ether Lens. Not massively surprised. It's a good item on Earth Spirit, don't get me wrong. But having a blink here and being able to catch blink in and have a roll to have that secondary form of movement to get yourself deeper into the fight, being able to blink and enchant stone someone, pretty big.
Yeah, but I think it actually goes back to the last observation that you made, that he hasn't really... They don't have initiation problems, right? They've got plenty of initiation on this team, and what Earth Spirit really needs is to get his combos off efficiently during these fights.
Yeah. Guess so. We're going to amp up his damage as well, you know, between Veil and Ether Lens, having that magnetize and all his spells being spammed out during a chrono. Pretty annoying for pretty annoying for HellRaisers. Well, listen. Replicate just died. Dead Replicate. It's gone now. For a better place. He's struggled. Elden has definitely struggled the past 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes, we literally said he had a free game. The entire map was his. He was doing whatever he wanted. Lowerdance is alone down in this bottom lane, but it's Ivan and Illidan, not... Killing a Lowerdance here is just not possible.
Yeah, it's not going to happen 1v1. It's important, though, Illidan, you're absolutely right when you talk about him struggling, but it absolutely is not his fault. It's more, he's chosen to spend time fighting with his team rather than just doing this kill every creep on the map Morphling playing. And it really, that's a strategic decision by the team. It's not an error on the part of the individual player.
Illidan.
Illidan.
Through this, but they changed targets back onto Ivan. Stack Storm is down, but this Oracle, he's not fine. He's not fine. We're starting to go around out, and Sonic is caught with a dual charge, but clears him up, and Lowerdance still battling through it, but he's taken out. Helped with his Morphling E-Blade. FN is forced to blink himself back a little bit further, but Alpha Ninja's got a blink of his own. Surprisingly enough, the grip back, no fear will save FN and kick him away to safety.
Yeah, with Static Storm really not placed very well and no Chrono in the fight, how do you win with Empire?
It was just so messy.
Yeah, it really is. There's just have been a couple of fights in this game that have really been messy on both sides.
The Empire just didn't think they'd all be there. You know, you see the Oracle plus Morphling, you're thinking, right, they're farming here, there's a Legion in the jungle, if someone will stop farming.
You know what it is, man, is that I've just gotten spoiled as F lately watching a bunch of eHome replays.
Really?
And so, well, it's stupid. Like, the way that they're playing right now, you don't see those kinds of mistakes. It's silly. And so I'm like, it's funny because I feel myself focusing way too much on the negatives when there have been a lot of positive plays by both teams. But I've been looking at teams for Shanghai, and you watch the level that some of these teams are playing on right now, and it's just incredible.
Good mistakes. Game of errors. Making errors, you're gonna have a great time. Not a boast. Still yet to make up for that missed Chronosphere up at towards the middle lane, that tier 2. Oh. That's Empire, they've got some leeway. They're not necessarily on a clock here, they've still got a lot of combos, and as these BKBs wear down for HellRaisers, Zeus, you know, he's having a bit of a dip here, dealing with the magic community, but he'll bring himself back up in time. You can't BKB during the Chronosphere either. Oh, they know Shastro's there. They're gonna hold straight onto him. They found Purple. Purple in the trees, and Purple is dead. And actually, they jump forward again. Although I haven't found a secondary target.
Okay.
The Haunt was still going.
What was that?
That was
exactly?
That was 2 ultis and 2 kills. Was that simple enough answer for you now?
yeah, no, that's the right answer. A Morphling cannot die here. Come on.
Oh, dear me. Hey, BKB TPs.
Good play. I know Illidan, you're Illidan, and you want to do shit there, but you got to get the hell back to your base.
Bombing as well. As he progressed on, he's going Scardy next. Orb of Venom's there. Against this team of Empire. Oh, hello Hadance, kill yourself. Kill the illusion. Oh, the Illidan jumps to it. They're going to go aggressively into this. They've got the Chrono down onto the 2 big heroes though, and a TP in. If this Zeus can blink himself into a good position to land down these Thunder God's Wrath and Lightning Bolts, they'll get up on ENG in quick succession and look for Illidan on the back end as well. He's rolled on. Silent stop. No, not got it just there. Finally lands in an Illidan waveform away at the last second, but they're still chasing. Looking for the kill. He's healed up and kept alive the E-Blade on himself, so that the Lord Spectre can't do any more damage. But Empire are diving in deep with a glimpse back to clear up Illidan. He might be forced to buy back because his BKB shot flow, his duel is good, but the damage from the Lord is better. Empire.
That's what I would call a good duel. Oh my goodness. How much damage did the Zeus passive do in that last fight to Morphling? Oh lord.
Morphling can buy back, but what do you do with that buyback? You're just losing your ranks anyway. He's gonna return to the land of the living. But hello Hadance, he's already looking for that top lane tier 3. They know that the tier 2 mid is still standing, so they'll blink themselves all the way up to the top lane. Illidan. Plan.
Yeah.
You're gonna go for no fear because he's tanky. He's got Glimmer Cake. He's not the easiest target to go for.
Yeah, your plan is you're gonna burst down Funnick and get a gem because that's something that you can do. But meanwhile, at top racks.
Oh, that's a lane and a half of racks gone. Maybe blink forward. That's pretty good, but the Haunt is out from the low Hadance. No one for him to jump to. I think he might be dead. Style. Up a little bit further away, the Mystic Flare is gonna miss, but yeah, he's gone. It took a while. It took a while for HellRaisers to get him.
Yeah, Empire doing the really ill-timed Delta split there, and Funnick giving up the gem, which it didn't look like much was going to come of it, but once Funnick died, the rest of the team kind of said, all right, we don't really need this second Rax, but they didn't really have a coordinated retreat there.
HellRaisers, this is an interesting move. Viper has no mana, and they're pushing to this tier 3. If they walk up this ramp a centimeter, God, they're doing it, aren't they? No, this isn't.
Yeah, I mean, you have to force something here.
I mean, I'm sure this isn't the play. I'm sure this is not the play. Illidan is morphing through this damage pretty well, actually, and he's keeping himself alive with that Oracle behind him. He's healing through it all. Pops his BKB, jumps himself forward, but the E-Blade barely scratches on the HP pool of FN. They'll turn and defend with Shard Flow stuck in no man's land. The big chrono and a big combination. Oh, no fear. No fear. Kick back, kick forward. That was not the play, but they'll still catch up and injure Slifer. As soon as you step multiple heroes up that ramp, you just know.
Dire's middle tower is under
Know
attack.
it's gonna happen.
But look at the situation. Oh my goodness. Look at the situation that Empire feel that they're in right now. Empire have HR desperation pushing up their ramp, and they're like, nah, you know what, Aloha Dance, don't worry about buying back. We got you, buddy. We got you.
Already in position. Boots of travel. Sure. Well, I was gonna say pretty much 6 slotted, but he's still got phase boots to sell. Even Earth Spirit's got a ton of money. He got that Blink Dagger and Ether Lens a while back. EOTs for him. No fear, the guy who made kind of limited impact in the early stages, I felt. He has made great strides this game to get himself up there.
He really has. I think that's such an underrated aspect of players when you're evaluating is the ability to have kind of a not much impact early game and still come back and make big plays.
Oh, Illidan. That static storm is just so perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's game over. Tap
What a
out.
fun game.
3-37. HellRaisers, they showed signs of life. They showed a great game plan. It was working deeply. Empire
I
had
them a ton of credit. I really did not. They did more in this game, so much more than I thought they were going to be able to do with that draft. They had a realistic chance to win this game at a couple of different points, but Empire just needed the plays when they absolutely they made the plays when they absolutely had to have them. And I tell you what, Aloha Dance on the carry position, the more I look at him, he doesn't have that many spectacular games, but he's just such a steady player.